finally, a story to put you on the edge of your seat. Attitude joined one of our mates in Queenstown.
Motivational speaker Tony Christensen is a guy who grabs every opportunity going.
This time, he's taking part in the motorsport event, the Race to the Sky.
They say that mountains are there to be conquered. Every Easter, the Cardrona Valley near Queenstown becomes a mecca for motorsport enthusiasts. The challenge? The annual Race to the Sky. This year, 126 drivers, quad bikes, motorbikes and cars, are competing for the fastest time to the top of the mountain range. You need deep pockets for this sport.
So far, between me and this guy over here, we've bought 6.5 grand's worth of tyres and rims for this event.
Open her up, get the car out, and we're going to do the big reveal. The big reveal of the car.
Racing in the event for the first time is motivational speaker and adventurer Tony Christensen.
I've been wanting to do this for probably about 6 or 7 years. I had the opportunity to meet, really, you know, with my life it's all inspiration and things like that, and I think we learn from other people about challenges and how we go about doing things, and I had the opportunity to meet Possum Bourne many times over different functions and at the airport, and he'd always say to me, Tony, you got to have a go at this hill climb. He obviously knew my passion with motorsport, and it just never really sort of figured high in my motorsport resume. But when I heard this was going to be possibly the last time that they're going to run it up the hill, I just thought, well, you know, it's my time to do it, and it's just another challenge, a tick the box off sort of thing. And I'm looking forward to going up that hill and passing that statue and just sort of saying, yeah, here we are, we're doing it.
No one underestimates this race, the event that led to the tragic death of legend Possum Bourne.
I went up the hill and I thought, whoa, you know, this is going to be not as easy as I thought it was. And we've got a lot of horsepower, and it's just going to dig holes in the ground, I think, rather than sort of go forward. So I'm not too sort of concerned about time and things like that. I just want to get to the top of the hill. The first priority today is get to the top of the hill. Like that at the end of the day. Well, here we go. This is my baby, and this is the heart of all the thing. It's a 360 cubic inch Chevrolet engine. It produces around 550 horsepower, and for something like this it's probably a little bit overpowered in this particular car. Because it's only a rear wheel drive car, all of the power is going through to the back wheels, whereas you'll find a lot of the cars that are racing here are four-wheel drive. As a toy it's about $35,000 worth, but I don't tell my wife that. Hey Paul, can we come and have a look at this?
He's driving his Pontiac Firebird in the open class. His crew reckons Tony set himself quite a challenge.
I noticed that this
driver's briefing is about to start at the start-finish line. All those please hurry along now. That's a driver's briefing. At the start line you must sign on.
Well, the biggest issue for Tony is that he has to take his hand off the steering wheel to change gears, and you know, there's lots of tight turns and then there's some big long straights, so he's going to be constantly changing gears. And you know, my worry is that as long as the wheels are pointing in the right direction, that's going to be the hard part for Tony, because it's quite loose, the surface this morning. It'll bone out.
People think that he hasn't got any legs, so you know, he drives with a hand control, and that's pretty cool because that's exactly what I do. I've got the twist grip and the brakes. The biggest challenge I have is actually changing gear. Because it's Speedway, I only run in one gear. Here we have to be able to change gears, so I've got this gear lever up here which I can trip through the gears, and I'm steering with one hand. The problem is that I need to go from the steering wheel to the gear change, and I have to let go of the steering wheel to change gear. So it's going to get pretty tricky at times in some of those corners, but you know, I'm sure we'll work it out. I'll be honest, I don't come here and do this because I don't have any legs and I'm trying to make a point or a statement or anything like that. I'm really just doing it because it's a fantastic opportunity.
Tony had to convince race officials he was safe to drive, but he and his Pontiac breezed through.
No, I was really surprised at that, to be honest. Some forms of motorsport get a little bit, you know, You know, they have to make sure I can get out of the car within, I think, 20 seconds. One time they were doing that, checking that I could get out of the car, and the guy said, okay, we're ready to start, and he went, now, and by the time he looked around, I was back on the floor. And he went, oh, well, it's no problem.
We were talking about earlier, Tony Christensen in a Pontiac Firebird Speedway car. Tony has no legs. He is operating this car purely by hand controls. A great motivational speaker. He's a bloody hard case, and he's racing a 600 horsepower Speedway car with no legs.
The race covers 15 kilometres of gravel and 137 corners, climbing from 1,500 to 5,000 feet. And it's all over in around 10 minutes, depending how good you are.
Got to be like at full throttle when you hit the start-finish line, because as soon as you do that, that's when the timing starts. But then it's very soft all the way around the bottom there, so it's very soft pumice. The car will dig in and really bite. And then there's a nice big sweeping corner, which with all of the other cars, it's built up into a really nice soft berm. And you get the back tyres into that, and you just rev the heck out of it, and it just bites and drives off it. And that's great fun. That's the part I really, really like. I'm very confident in racing cars. I've been racing for, gosh, probably 25, 30 years now. My dad built me a little go-kart to start with. That was about 2 years after my accident. So I've raced speedway with midgets, sprint cars, and now the saloon car.
Tony's right hand is controlling the throttle and brake. The left hand is steering. Here comes the gear change. No hands. Tony completes his first run in 12 minutes 24 seconds. His goal was 12 minutes flat.
Yeah, it's really dusty up the top. No, it's not dusty up the top, but there's fog, right? So you get it about 2/3 of the way up and you're in fog. So I lifted up the visor because it kept fogging up, and every time I breathed it was just fogging back up. So I lifted up, my eyes just about froze because it's so cold up there. And then, so you couldn't see for about, I suppose 10 or 12 corners.
A couple of hours later, he makes his second run up the mountain.
If it excited me, I'd give anything a go. I'm not a great rugby fan because I don't play rugby. Never going to be able to play rugby. You know, for me, it's just if I can, motorsport, when I put my helmet on, I'm just like everybody else. When I'm in that car, unless you knew that I didn't have any legs, people would go, wow, that guy's going good, or that car's going really well, or whatever. And that, for me, is the good thing about motorsport.
By the end of the weekend, Tony had ripped more than a minute off his original time, coming through the flags after just 11 minutes and 8 seconds.
Awesome. Heaps better that time. Yeah, baby. Nah, it makes a difference when you can see where you're going, doesn't it? Man. Was that a buzz?